Hello, YouTube. Hi, welcome to another live recording of the Are You Green podcast. I'm so excited to be doing these live recordings of the podcast because I really think that it's a lot easier for us to have more of a conversation when you can see me and hopefully interact in the chat. So thank you for joining. Please subscribe if you're interested in the stock market, if you're interested in swing trades, business news, and trading strategies in general. I do go live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So please subscribe and like. And with all of that being said, let's just dive in and start recording the podcast. Hello, traders and friends. Welcome to the Are You Green podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 22nd, and I loved it today when a CNBC reporter said that the markets today have been flattish. So it hasn't been that exciting in that respect, although we do have a lot of news to cover. So I want to dive right in. The SPY today opened at 368.23. It's now around 367.57. Is the SPY green? No, it's not. It is red. The XLK technology indicator that I follow opened at 128.79. It's now around 129 towards the close. Is it green? Yes, it is green. But across all sectors of the S&P 500, the market is down except for tech and real estate. So that's really interesting. And with the market down, that means that I bought. So I'm going to be talking about what I added today and new swings. And then the question everybody wants to know, are you green? No, I'm not. I am red, but you know what? I am comfortable being red because I'm really happy with the stocks that I'm holding right now, and I'm just following my plan. Today I really want to dive into a couple of news stories. So the first one is what is happening with the market. We just passed a stimulus deal, and yet we see no lift, no action. Why is this? So I really want to dive into that. I also want to cover Biden's remarks as he made a end of the year address, and then looking at today's top movers. What happened to Apple and Tesla? I want to go over that news. And then Peloton. If you guys saw Peloton shoot straight up today, I'll tell you why. So stay tuned. And when you come back, we'll talk more about the news, top movers, and then my personal day trades and swing trades. Okay, awesome. So I do a break in the segment of the podcast, and then I just dive right in. I want to pull up some numbers that I have, and let's just get going. Welcome back to the Are You Green podcast. Today was a shocking day for the market because they had just passed a stimulus deal last night. And I think everyone was expecting a raise. We saw the market lift after the stimulus deal was passed last time. And I know that this deal was smaller, but still, why no lift in the market? Well, that has to do with the time of year. I wanted to address this since I know I have a lot of listeners who are very new to trading and maybe not as in tune to the market, or maybe they don't have a background in financial sectors. So what's happening right now is there is a rebalancing of funds as money managers are cutting down their inflated equity holdings and basically buying more bond holdings to realign the weighting of their portfolios. So to break this down, basically when you have a investment portfolio that is in the hands of a money manager, like when you see, Schwab or Edward Jones or all of these financial planners, what they do is they diversify your funds. So they're going to put some of your money in the stock market, in equities. They're going to put some money in bonds. Maybe some money will go towards your 401k, or maybe you have some other type of investing fund. Well, what is happening now is that as the year went along, a lot of people did shift money out of the bonds into the stock market, into equities. And now that those equities have done well, I mean, this is, good news for them and good news for the, rich people that they manage money for. They are now looking to shift a lot of that profit back into bonds as the new year starts. So what that means for everyday traders is that we might see the market continue to decline until the end of the year. And that's just because there is money coming out of the market. I also want to mention that around this time of the year, we also see a lower volume of trading. So that also comes into play with the market. So keep all of these things in mind and do not panic sell. I am begging you, because that is how, that's really what keeps the individuals down compared to these money managers and to professional traders, is that, individuals get concerned. They don't know how far things are going to drop, and then they just panic sell. So please make a plan and trade your plan, but keep in mind that this time of year, the market might continue to go down, and that's not reflective of what is going to be happening in 2021. Speaking of 2021, let's move right into Biden's remarks. Today, he did an address that was supposed to be more of like a holiday greetings, holiday wishes. But of course, there's nothing exciting about this holiday, as most people are suffering due to this COVID-19 pandemic, whether they are suffering because they've lost their job, they've lost family members, or just general, state of mind with the kind of life changes that have happened. So he was very honest with what's happening with the pandemic. And he said that the darkest days in the COVID battle are still ahead. So keep that in mind as you invest. He also talked about the cyber attacks that have recently come to light. And he basically was saying that these are not going to go unanswered, and that his administration will be doing something about this. That is really interesting for me, because I invest a lot in tech trade and in the tech stocks. And so, we can expect a lot more movement in those stocks and tickers that are relating around security. So that will be interesting to follow next year. He also mentioned that there's going to be a COVID plan next year, and that the COVID relief that was passed is basically just a small down payment on what they're going to be passing. So really good news on that front. And we're just going to have to see what happens there in 2021. Okay, let's move on to the top movers. So today we found out news that Apple is going to be working to create electric vehicles. This is awesome news, because Tesla needs another disruptor, and Apple, just totally got into their space by saying that they're going to be moving into electric vehicles. It made the stock move up almost 3%. And on the other hand, you had Tesla going down only 2.14%. But something to keep in mind is that downward movement also affected the SPY, since Tesla is now in the S&P 500. So Tesla is now sitting around 635. People are still price targeting it around 660 and 670, but a lot of people warn that it could drop into the 500. So if you're holding Tesla, just some warning about what's to come, because they're having some struggles with finding factory place. They had a struggle in Germany with their factory. So they've just been getting a lot of these, kind of difficult stories and difficult news. And, now we have a brand new competitor. And who would have thought? Apple. Really exciting for Apple there. Peloton shot straight up. This was insane. I, rarely see moves like this. It jumped up over 11% today. So that was huge. And the news around this is actually really exciting. So Peloton bought out a company called Precor, Precor. This company is located in my home state, Washington. So it's really interesting that they bought out this company of exercise equipment. The Precor equipment is not what I would technically call like super modern. So, it's just like kind of classic gym equipment, but it is high quality stuff. And I'm just excited to see where Peloton goes with this. And I also think that it means that we're going to see more Peloton equipment in the future in gyms, since that is Precor's main market. So, when gyms open back up, I think that there might be a huge market there. I did see or hear a interview with Planet Fitness, and they were basically very bullish about their stock, saying that, in the next few years, they're going to be scaling. They imagine more and more people visiting, their cleaning standards are up, and so on. So maybe that's a company to look at. But let's dive into the bread and butter, my swing trades. I try not to trade too much on the news. Instead, I really follow a pivot strategy when I look at the charts. This strategy has to do with a few things. First of all, I am trading at the open of the markets. That is where the market sees the most volatility in that first hour, and it gives me an opportunity to really get good prices and follow this strategy. So I watch for a big downward movement that is pretty fast. So I really watch for that, and that's where I want to go ahead and take a trade and buy. I want the stock to have volume, because without volume, it's going to be harder to see the movements that I want, and it's going to be harder to exit the trade later on, even if I get the movement that I'm looking for. So that is really important to keep in mind. And the last thing is the pivot strategy. I've shared my charts on the YouTube channel. You guys should definitely check that out. I'll put the link in the podcast description. But I follow a pivot strategy that basically watches for these huge downward movements to hit the pivot and then bounce up. Obviously, they're not going to, exactly work every time, but seeing the ranges these movements happen at they're very, very accurate. And it's just been an incredible strategy for me. So what did I buy today? Well, I obviously bought Carmax. It went down more than 8%. The ticker is KMX. My average is 93.77. I am giving the stock move to go down. So I have more buys down in the 91 area. Although I'm pretty happy with my size, I do have, some room for this stock to continue to go down. So that is a part of my plan here. There's a strong pivot at 95.66. So I will be selling a little bit at that point, which again, that's why I'm hoping to average down. But my main target for this is going to be 97. So really excited to see how this plays out. The last new swing trade I entered in today was with Moderna. That's MRNA. It saw a big decline today. It was so strange that it declined today because, Dr. Anthony Fauci went on television live today and received the COVID vaccine, and it was the Moderna vaccine that he received. So, I have no idea what's happening with this. And again, when I looked into it, a lot of people were saying that it could be due to this end of the year rebalancing of funds that we're seeing. People who have profited a lot from Moderna are now taking those profits and putting them elsewhere. So, I'm going to profit off of their moves, right? So I have an average with Moderna at 125.62. I'm already a little bit green on this. I'll consider to start selling a small piece at 128.30, but my target is 133, and I'm going to hold that because I know that more orders are happening right now with that vaccine. So I definitely want to give this trade the time and the space to work out. And I also added to a swing trade. The swing trade that I added to is OSTK. I added down at 58.88. My average is now 61.50. I had an original target for this ticker up at 66 level. However, I am a little concerned after seeing the movement today that it might not get there. So instead, I am repositioning my target down at 63.80. But that's what's happening with the OSTK swing. And I can't wait to update you as this week goes on, since I am expecting the market to continue to be flattish or red. This is a good opportunity for longs. So I will be scouring the market, looking for good buys. And again, keep in mind, to trade safely, knowing that the market is going to have a shorter day on Thursday. I will have to re-record that for the podcast because the cat is just meowing in the background, but I won't do anything for the live stream. So anyways, that is all, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for those of you who are watching this video back, please subscribe and stay tuned for more live podcasts and more awesome content about the trade market, the news, and my swing trades. So until then, I hope you guys have a great day and a really good week. And I look forward to being live and recording this podcast with you guys tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Take care.